All right, man. I got a fact check from last week. I said Guns N' Roses had a song called "Janie's Got a Gun" about burying a girlfriend in the backyard. The song was actually called "Used to Love Her" by Guns N' Roses. And "Janie's Got a Gun" is by a group called Aerosmith. I'm sure these are groups that you probably do not entertain.
Never heard of neither one.
You never heard of Aerosmith?
Uh-uh.
Or Guns N' Roses?
No.
Okay, I'd say very white rock music. But it popped up on my radar when growing up, Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses, and I was tapped in with all the heavy metal music when I was in junior high school because all the MS-13 guys used to go to the same school I went to after they got kicked out of Berendo. Berendo's their home school, which is off of like Normandy and Olympic. But when they got kicked out, they came over to John Burroughs. So heavy metal was a big part of my junior high school, middle school years. You know, that's Led Zeppelin.
Man, these
Metallica.
These songs don't be aging well.
Well, "Used to Love Her" was a dope song by Guns N' Roses, and he talked about, "I loved my girl so much I had to kill her and I buried her in my backyard," which was I bring this up because we were talking about what's his name again?
D4vd.
D4vd. It turns out it was a young female.
We have an update right now on a disturbing story out of California, where Los Angeles police have identified badly decomposed human remains found inside of an impounded Tesla last week. Investigators say the car is registered to singer and songwriter David, who rose to fame with hits on TikTok. He was on tour when that body was found. A spokesperson says that he is fully cooperating with authorities. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz joins us now from Los Angeles with more details. Liz, where do things stand right now?
Yeah, Morgan, so a really sad update here. It's been over a week that investigators have now been trying to identify the body that was found inside this impounded Tesla here in Los Angeles. And authorities have now identified that person, and they say that it's a teenager who was inside that car. And they've identified this person as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas of Riverside County. And authorities have actually confirmed that this is a young woman whose family reported her missing last year. So she's been missing for over a year. She was 14 when she went missing. The medical examiner's office says that this young woman was wearing a tube top, black leggings, a yellow metal chain bracelet, and stud earrings. She was described as having wavy black hair and weighing around 71 pounds. A cause of death right now is still pending.
Yeah, and he has a very I don't know what kind of song you would call it, the
Dark
romantic homicide song that is not, it doesn't go well with what just happened to him last week.
I wonder, did they take him into custody, or we ain't got no update on that?
Nah, he's been overshadowed by the Charlie Kirk news. I did hear that it's a young petite girl that weighed like 80 pounds. Okay, here they're saying she's 5'1", 71 pounds with wavy black hair and a tattoo on her right index finger.
70-something pounds?
I know, isn't that petite?
I don't think that's called that, but yep.
It's been a busy day of developing news. So the body found in the trunk of a Tesla registered to popular music artist David is that of a teenage girl missing since April of last year. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez live in Lake Elsinore. This stunning development in this case. Christina.
Yeah, her name was Celeste Rivas. She was last seen leaving her home here back in 2024. Her family thought she was missing. She was declared missing back then. They had no idea there could even be a connection to the body in the Tesla until they got a call from TMZ last week. Now, keep in mind that David has been cooperating with authorities. He has not been named a person of interest, let alone a suspect. But at this point, this concert in Seattle, the next concert date, has been canceled, and people here are saying, what's going on?
71-pound girl. I was just thinking that maybe they got the weight off because she's dismembered and she's been dead, and her liquid, the liquids of her body have been dried up. So how do you get an accurate weight of her when you're recovering her body days later?
I need to go off her last, not the autopsy, but her last thing. I want to know how much she really weighs, because damn, my daughter, I'm trying to think how much my daughter weighs. She about to be 10.
Yeah, my daughter was petite for many years, man, up until high school, and then all of a sudden she just put all this, her body filled in, I guess you would say, because she's not overweight, but she's like at least 135 pounds when she was like weighing 100 pounds most of her teenage years. So, yeah, this girl, I was surprised to read that, but I think the weight might be off because she's deceased. So how do you get an accurate weight?
Yeah, it said the car was abandoned, so we don't know how long she was back there.
First guest tonight is a private investigator who specializes in missing persons, and he got his hands on the paper trail from that first ticket that went on the Tesla's windshield to the end of the line at the impound lot. And he learned that fed-up neighbors called police about this car on August the 26th. An officer came by the very next day and left a ticket on the window. A second ticket was issued September 3rd, and the car was finally towed September 5th. Steve, thanks so much for being on tonight. Tell me about the tow report that you were able to obtain and some of the information that you learned from the report.
So, it was first called in by a neighbor on the 26th, and the only note that was on it was when they asked for any identifying information besides the license plate, they noted that there was a large dent in the back, and, it was curious that there wasn't an odor mentioned. Now, that doesn't absolutely mean that in the conversation with the agent, they didn't mention that and it just didn't get reported. But, in L.A., a traffic officer has to come out at least 3 times before they can tow it on 3 different days. They have to chalk the tires, make sure it hasn't moved, because it is legal to park on that street. So, as far as what was gathered from that, it was nothing regarding the smell or anything, but for it to get towed from that area, considering there is no parking restrictions, it had to be there quite a while, I think.
Especially if she been back there that long to where it starts smelling. But did they say it was any relation with him? Like,
few words from those arriving at the Lake Elsinore home where 15-year-old Celeste Rivas disappeared in April of 2024. Where her family has just found out that it is her partially dismembered body that was found in the trunk of a Tesla, registered to popular singer-songwriter David Anthony Burke, known by the stage name David. TMZ broke the girl's identification after speaking to her mother.
It was a very heart-wrenching conversation. She was very upset and said that all she knew is that, her daughter had been missing all of this time. She told us that she was aware that there was a boyfriend named David.
And that her daughter had a tattoo with the letters "shh" on her right index finger.
That the color of the ink of that tattoo was red, which was something that police had not released to the public.
The singer, who has been cooperating with police, had continued his tour after the body was discovered, but he just canceled his next date in Seattle.
But it just seemed odd to us that, gosh, your car, such a grisly discovery in your car, and that you're just out on tour. You would think that, you'd want to find out what happened here, because this is just a very bizarre case.
Especially because one of his videos actually features a body being put in the trunk of a car.
It's just eerie considering what ended up happening in David's car.
I bet you somebody in his entourage used this car. That's towed up.
Yeah, and maybe they thought, oh, maybe we can set him up. We can set him up.
Like, it's one street over from where his house actually is?
Half a block, because his street is really kind of like almost like an alleyway. It's not an alley, but it's really a half of a regular block because the way the neighborhood's split up. It's very close. You could throw a rock at it.
It's unbelievable. It almost makes you wonder if the smell might have even reached the front door of that mansion. Let me ask you about the damage. I didn't notice damage in the towing and in the drone videos, but what did you know about?
Well, I didn't really know until I saw these photos. And this car, this is a 2023 Model X. You paid $104,000 for this. I've seen the invoice, and it's just beat up. I don't know what they've done to this car, but I mean, all the wheel wells have got damage, and I'm not really a car guy, but those side fenders on the other side are off. There's huge dent in the rear. The guy parking there also noticed front right damage. So I don't know what happened to this car, because I've seen, you like, for instance, I found a Google Maps image of it happening parked in front of the house, right? The street view. And it does not look damaged there. So I don't know when this happened or how it happened, but it almost looks like it's been off road.
He pretty much innocent.
Yeah.
He gonna have to tell on somebody though.
Like who I lent my car to.
Mm-hmm. He know exactly who's responsible.
And what we didn't know last week was that her body was dismembered. It wasn't just in the trunk; it was dismembered in the trunk. So yeah, I don't know how you get
dismembered. What is that?
Cut up.
Okay.
We know that Celeste's body was found September 8th, that this was a day after she reportedly would have turned 15 years old. While a cause of death has not been officially released by the LA County Medical Examiner's Office at the time of this recording, it has been reported that her remains were released back to her family. And talking about her remains, reports say that her body was apparently mutilated. And we know that she was found severely decomposed, left inside of this plastic bag in the car, which raises questions about how long she was in that state. It's also not entirely clear when she died.
Usually when you dismember a body, you're trying
discard it.
Yeah, you're trying to get rid of it, not just have it preserved in the trunk of a car. So somebody's plans didn't go according to schedule. They left her dismembered body in the trunk of this car, of this guy's Tesla. And it got impounded. Well, they said the car was left abandoned. So
they discovered it at the tow yard, the body.
Yeah.
Because of the smell.
But they impounded it because they claimed it was left abandoned in some street.
Right. In Woodland Hills or something.
Up in the Hollywood Hills.
Right.
I just hope that the truth comes forward.
Celeste's neighbors on the street she grew up at.
Justicia.
Justice is what family and friends are asking for.
Whatever happened could happen to someone else, and it's just scary.
Now again, at this point, I want to emphasize that David, he's been cooperating with authorities supposedly, and but his next tour date, the one in Seattle, was canceled. He's supposed to be in San Francisco Friday and then come here to the Greek. We haven't heard from those venues yet. We have reached out. We have yet to hear back from LAPD. We'll keep you updated.
That's
Sheesh.
So Charlie Kirk news has been taking over all the headlines, and that's good. If there's any drama on you right now, you're happy